Welcome to Profiletraders. This is Reza and you're listening to my market analysis for this Saturday, February the 6th. Once again, we dealt with a very volatile, unsettled and uncertain market action. And in order to see in a better way what's going on in the big picture, let's bring the daily chart of ES and see what we said the last time where we had this market analysis. Last time I explained to you why this wasn't looking good, and I said usually when it's after such a big drop takes place, if it was just a one-time event of some big fund or whatever getting liquidated, once they are done with their business, price goes up and retrace the leg down quite fast. But the case here wasn't that. Instead, we sat several days back and forth, large range up, large range down, very uncertain. And then as soon as we started to see a possible break up with this candle here, immediately it faltered back down. And at that point, I gave you this trend line. And I said that you need to have this on your daily chart, because if we do break that, then market will be possibly in a huge series of problems. And a break out of this consolidation or this channel could possibly mean that market is now going to continue down in the direction of this first leg down. And if I said if we are going to measure the distance between here to here, I'm sorry, one second. If we are going to measure the distance between here to here and then project that distance from this top of 1943 or 1945 roughly, it would call for a downside objective of 1,665. So we are at the border of possibly breaking that trend line, and the close of Friday was extraordinarily weak. And once this trend line is broken, we should come for a test of 1822, and if 1822 doesn't hold, next level of significant support is at 1782, and after that downside objective roughly I would call it for 1665 to 1670. So looking terribly bad, despite the fact that we got this report where I'm sure the whole world sat and laughed. This ridiculous claim of a 4.9% unemployment while we created 160,000 jobs. It's becoming almost insulting, to be honest with you. It's becoming almost insulting to believe that people are such idiot bunch that there is a single soul out there believing that our unemployment is really at 4.9%. We had this kind of a number when Bill Clinton was running a magnificent economy during the dot-com boom. And I can tell you one thing, when you were going out, you were feeling wealth in people's hand, and you were feeling prosperity, and the economy is growing at 4 and 5%, and we had this kind of unemployment. Now this ridiculous 1% average growth of the last 8 years this anemic recovery, and they are wanting to make us believe that unemployment is almost at full level and 4.9%. But what they are not showing you, and what they should really show you, is the chart of disability recipients. And if I actually have that chart, I can pull it up and bring it and show it to you, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. As this unemployment is going down, you have the disability recipients and the disability demand that is going literally up to the roof, which means people are dropping out of the job market. And here you are. This is the chart of disabilities, and it goes completely opposite to the unemployment rate, because people are no longer looking for work. They go and get disability, get on the government payroll, and then as these guys get into disability, they consider them as employed. And of course, as the population shrinks looking for a job, the few jobs that are out there are fulfilled, and then they give us these lying numbers of 4.9. But whatever it is, market did not at all paid attention to it or even slightly believed it. They all looked at it, laughed, and they all know that this economy is in an ocean of trouble, that it's only being financed by debt, by spending, by borrowing. And the only phony thing that they were able to sustain for this many years through manipulation has been the markets, and that is also faltering apart. So the close on Friday was very, very negative. We closed at the very low. Now the very first level of support comes in at 1885.5. As long as we remain below that level, we are going to see further downside movements, because you look at around the globe, if you can pinpoint me one economy that is doing well, then I will say it's an exception. But vast majority of every single economy in all continents, everybody is suffering. And you look at the high flying stocks that you would buy them and automatically you would make $30-40 the next day. It's a complete reversal now. Now you touch Amazon, every day you get punished. You touch Priceline, every day you get punished. You buy Tesla, every day you get punished. You buy Google, you get punished. You buy Netflix, you get punished. Things have changed around and the market is in a very, very serious stage of trouble. So as long as this goes on, every pullback needs to be sold into it, with the first level of support being 1885.5. If we do inject into this 1885.5, because all the area above is so underdeveloped, we could very well go up for another test of 1895, which is resistance 2, and then after that 1900 to 1905 is resistance level number 3. As to the downside, we are going to watch very carefully this 1860, which is a very strong area of, not very strong but substantial area of support, and if 1860 doesn't hold, I believe it is wide open for a 40 or 50 points drop all the way to 1800. Now let's look at the chart of crude oil. As it went up towards 33.4, I told you that based on demand alone, nothing was improving. And when demand is not there, it's very tough to maintain price higher simply through manipulation of price. So it has started now to come down. And we are at support. 30.68 is one area of support. If Sunday night we break that, next area of support is 30, and if we do break 30, 29 to 29.25 is the level below. As for the upside, nothing is going to happen until we come up and totally reverse today's range. So to me, the first area of significant support is 32.15. Until this is not broken to the upside, nothing is going to happen. We are either going to rotate sideways down, or we are going to break and go to the lower level of support which I provided to you. This was Reza with Profiletraders. Thank you for listening, and talk to you next time.